Our Prove It series here on TripleJump has successfully shown that video games really can teach us anything. Want to dazzle your friends with exquisite cuisine? Let Cooking Mama show you the way. Fancy trying your hand at being a professional race car driver? Well, hold on to your wumper fruit because Crash Team Racing has got you covered. Need some dating advice to woo that special someone? Just take a look at,
I love you too, baby!
Okay, on second thought, maybe this is one area in which gaming is lacking. Indeed, relationship mechanics in games can vary from the bizarre to the downright horrifying. We all have our favourite franchises and our most beloved waifus and husbandos therein. Did I say that right? But can we actually translate any of our in-game character interactions to IRL dating advice? Honestly, after examining the evidence, it isn't looking promising. I'm Peter from TripleJump, and here are 10 terrible lessons that video games teach us about romance. Number 10. Buy love with gifts. Hey, you know what? You really don't need to worry about wasting your time getting to know someone or making personal connections. Ooh, gross. Just take a gander at their Amazon wish list, proceed to checkout, and then proceed to make out. Oh. Well, at least that's what games like Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, and Rune Factory seem to suggest. Now, we're not here to make any scandalous links between the farming profession and questionable methods of courtship, but these games certainly have a tendency to utilise relationship mechanics that solely rely on giving plenty of root vegetables to the local singletons. Of course, you can chat to your prospective partners in these games, but it's so much easier to just let your eyes glaze over and spam through all their dialogue until you get the option to thrust a red onion in their general direction. So if IRL dating is leaving you cornfused, let us guide you through the rest of this list. We promise it'll be time well spent. Number 9. Put quantity over quality. Look, falling in love with the one is really overrated. Star-crossed lovers falling for each other against all the odds? Romantic courtship don't make me laugh. It's all about quantity over quality, according to the likes of the Fable franchise. Granted, throughout the series, you are able to romance specific characters from the actual storyline, but you're also able to frolic with hundreds of NPCs that seem to have suffered from a chronic case of copy and paste-itis. Most of the townsfolk in these games are carbon copies of each other, even down to their bombastic Old English accents, with only superfluous details like their names or the length of their mutton chops varying between them. There are no personal connections, just make the NPCs laugh or, as we discussed in the previous entry, sling a box of cheap chocolates their way until they decide to do the horizontal tango with the illustrious hero of Bowerstone.
You what?
So yeah, don't worry about personalities, just go for the numbers, especially if you've got your eyes on that swinger achievement. Number 8. Stalk them. Respecting each other's boundaries, supporting a healthy level of freedom and independence, giving each other space when needed. Absolute nonsense. Stardew Valley and the Persona series know that success relies on stalking your future spouse, learning their route and tracking their moves. Essentially, pursue them until they succumb to your charms. Sure, some people may throw around words like manipulation, gaslighting, and stalking, but honestly, there's no way to effectively snag a significant other in these games unless you've got a comprehensive spreadsheet of their potential whereabouts at all times. Even the likes of Mass Effect are guilty of this type of courting. In between missions, feel free to harass your co-workers and follow them around the ship. Find them and never give them a moment's peace. If you don't know exactly where they are and what they're doing, you really need to buck up your ideas, bub. Maybe throw together one of those creepy boards that psychopaths tend to have on crime shows. You know, the ones with all the red string and obsessive notes? Yeah, that's a healthy and effective way to go about it, for sure. Number 7. Incest might be okay. It's not though, let's just get that out of the way before we continue. However, some RPGs would beg to differ. For starters, pick up any Fire Emblem title and you are sure to glimpse some suggestion of brother-sister relationships. Of course, you might stumble across a secret bit of lore that suggests they are maybe possibly not blood-related, but that type of thing still reeks of scandal pending, if you ask me. Similarly, the Trails of Cold Steel series features an unrequited romance between the protagonist and his younger sister Elise. In fact, other characters are known to get frustrated at him when he doesn't offer enough reciprocation of his sister's affections. The get out of jail free cards in these situations, and believe me you're gonna need one, seems to be the briefest of hints that they aren't related by blood. So the consensus among such games seems to be that it's okay to romance your sibling if there's a small chance that some obscure lore exists to confirm your unrelated genes. It's not though, let's just get that out of the way before we conclude. Number 6. Spend their money. Skyrim is a perfect game. This is known. It's flawless, timeless, and utterly profound in all ways. Not only that, but it also reminds us that marriage is a great way of sapping your partner of their precious savings. Now, you might not know this, but Skyrim has been known to contain one or two small bugs. These teeny tiny issues can be exploited, believe it or not, to gain massively powerful weapons, world-breaking enchantments, unlimited experience points, or, shockingly, infinite wealth. Just as well, really, because again, as we discussed in entry number 10, you've spent a lot of money buying chocolates and onions for your partner to get to this point. Now, because these exploits exist, there's no real need to drain your spouse of their finances, but it's clearly par for the course when it comes to Tamriel matrimony. So, while you're out there weaving epic tales of your virtuous deeds, such as dragon shouting poor old Lydia off a cliff, be sure to pop home once in a while for a nice hot meal and to snatch 100 gold from your beloved other half. Aw, what a spouse is for. After all, you've got to make taking an arrow in the knee worthwhile, right? Number 5. Breed your way to victory. It's safe to say that Fire Emblem's romance mechanics are a substantial draw for people who love the series, or love their siblings.
You're so cute.
And yet, these mechanics can also make it a prime candidate for this list. Now don't misunderstand us, we know the mechanics are super fun, and it's always cool to watch the character interactions unfold throughout the story as you battle side by side. But then there's the small matter of fleshing out your army with your own powerful offspring. In particular, Fire Emblem Awakening is guilty of encouraging the player to strategically breed their fellow comrades in order to attain a loyal and effective generation of soldiers. If you matchmake your heroes effectively, their sons and daughters will proceed to hop through time to pledge themselves to your cause. Just make sure you choose the strongest mate for yourself, because you also get stat bonuses when fighting alongside them. Essentially, selectively breed your army and use their obligations for family loyalty to send them to their deaths on the front lines. And people say romance is dead, eh? Oh wait, it's actually my Pegasus Knight who's dead. Number 4. Marriage is the end for women. Our 10 weirdest career games for girls list sadly didn't take into account the option offered by Harvest Moon Boy and Girl, aka Back to Nature, which is to simply give up on farming the moment you get married. And we use the term option very loosely, as players with female characters didn't exactly get a choice in the matter. If your heroine gets married, prepare to see the credits roll. Once the ring is on her finger, she's got to stay home, barefoot, pregnant, spring flowers in her hair, baking cookies, her only remaining purpose being to tend to her husband and offspring. There are some notably weird changes in the girl campaign that all steer the player character towards finding a husband. The house has mirrors, the Beauty Stars feature is implemented, and Doug will be nice to you from the very beginning of the game, all of which funnel the player into matrimony. On the other hand, if you're a male character, you can continue with the story because, as everyone knows, only guys are allowed to have adventures. Right, Lara? Number 3. Pander to their beliefs. There's no sense in embracing your individuality if you wish to fall in love. Those who want to woo a certain someone should just pander to their beliefs and say whatever they want to hear. Find yourself struggling to get into Paladin Dance's power armor in Fallout 4? Go on, tell him how great the Brotherhood of Steel is, even if you don't think so. If you want to go liberate some synths or kill non-hostiles, just leave him at home and don't tell him about it. Persona 3 will even punish you for daring to do anything other than pander to a loved one. If you consistently give the wrong answer or offer opinions that your comrade does not fully agree with, you'll see their social link swing into reverse, basically meaning you've hit a dead end in the relationship and can't go any further. So if in doubt, just lie. Butter up your companions and give them the answers they want to hear, because all great relationships are built on misdirection and constantly hiding things from each other, right? Speaking of hiding things, number 2, cheating is fine, but play it cool. There are plenty of video games out there that suggest the adulterer's life is easy peasy, until they get caught, of course. You can spend your free time in Persona 5 dating the whole cast of lovely ladies, and everything runs pretty smoothly, until you get caught out on Valentine's Day when all the girls arrive at the coffee shop at the same damn time. In The Witcher 3, you can pursue Triss and Yen at the same time, but hell hath no fury like a mage scorned. If you try to maximize both relationships, they'll team up, get revenge, and leave Geralt alone and dejected. So clearly the message here is to not cheat, right? Oh no! Clearly the message here is to not fully invest in any one of your multiple partners. Instead, keep them all at a reasonable simmer to stop them from boiling over. Manageable, see? Then of course there's the likes of The Sims 3, which after enabling the lifetime reward perks, Stone-Hearted and No Jealousy, prevents all other Sims from having jealous reactions and freaking out, even if you're romancing several of them at once. Hell, move them all into the same house and have kids with them if you like, they don't mind. If you don't have the perk though, just stealthily maneuver from liaison to liaison to keep your Sims happy and unaware. Play it cool, and it might all just work out for you. And number 1, try another species. Okay, so we've made it to the number 1 spot with our tongue firmly in our cheek for the entirety of this list. We've seen games that are seemingly okay with cheating, stalking, incest, and women being forced to stay at home, but now we get to the real meat of the video game romance issue. Across a whole host of titles, there are multiple cases of people getting together with non-human partners. Bowser is clearly absolutely infatuated by Princess Peach in a sort of King Kong kind of way that makes me incredibly uncomfortable. The Mass Effect series offers you multiple opportunities to get it on with people who might walk like humans and talk like humans but definitely aren't humans, and this sort of activity isn't even reserved to main characters of video games or partners with 2 legs. The Red Dead Redemption side quest, Who Are You to Judge, features a minor character who is in love with his horse.
You got problems, friend.
Surely though, the most infamous case of video game animal and human interaction comes from Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, in which the Blue Blur himself, an actual cartoon hedgehog with shoes on, decides to take as his partner a Final Fantasy character, seemingly. What is going on here? I don't want to see any more. Can we end now, please? And that, thankfully, is our list over. But which other video games have given us terrible romance advice over the years? Let us know in the comments below. You can follow myself and TripleJump on Twitter here, and if you want to support the things you enjoy, then check out the rewards on our Patreon. Finally, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. I've been Peter from TripleJump, and thanks for watching.